And in some parts of the world, they are called pumpkins. But here's the deal with that Seminole pumpkin last year, which if you don't know, I got 80 pumpkins off of one plant last year. It was just
Wow.
amazing.
One plant.
One plant.
Like if I didn't know you, and I'm not one to just be out here like I'm not sure if that person like really.
You
If
think
I
I was
didn't know
lying?
you, I'd be like,
Yeah.
did you lose track that you really had three in there? But
No,
since I know you, I know it's one plant. That's amazing.
but let me tell you how it worked. So
Mhm.
as the plant came up the trellis and then over, and once it came in contact with the ground, all of the nodes were sitting out roots along that vine. So essentially, what was going on, and I know this is kind of an assy way to look at it, but I mean, you could think of it as multiple plants at that point, because technically I could take and cut it and then it would still keep growing because it had roots all up and down it. So it's a very high producer, but at the same time, I mean, the amount of space that it took up, and I don't want to
Mhm.
really necessarily bring space. I know this is the second time I've mentioned it. I don't really want to bring it in, but and I didn't. I don't mind it. It went over my trellis and then it went around and through the garden. There were
Mhm.
paths on my garden that walk in through for the whole year,
Yeah.
because of this plant. Now, I mean, it was producing a lot and we were getting out of it, but at the same time, it's like, man, this is crazy amount of squash coming off of here. But I don't really want to lump that into a high poundage producer, just because it was such a pain in the ass. Like you really have to have like a true. I mean, you have to have a lot of space. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
made it work, but it wasn't really what I want for me in the future.
I think that there's so much there, and I want to try to let us focus back on our list. But we talked about the Seminole pumpkin, and I would never let it do what it did in your yard. My structure, my setup is just not that. So I would never get 80 pumpkins off of it, right? And the crazy part is I would never want 80. It's one of those weird things. So I'm a huge like houseplant advocate. I love, if you're on YouTube, you can see some of them in the backgrounds of some of the videos. And it's interesting to me because, most of these plants are really designed to be grown. Designed, when I say that, I meant like naturally they would grow in nature, in tropical spaces. And so I hear a lot of people talk about, how these plants would grow in their natural habitat, basically. And it's like, well, my house, which, now has air conditioning running, is never going to be a natural habitat for it. And so when you tell the Seminole pumpkin story, it's kind of like, look at what a plant would do if you let it versus the way that we've tamed our gardens.
Right.
And that's not a criticism of us as gardeners, because you should be able to enjoy pumpkin squash, Seminole pumpkins. You should be able to enjoy them without having to commit the space you did commit to them. And without having to try to figure out what are you going to do with 80. I know it was a part of, I thought I remember you like, let's see how much this thing can
Well,
produce, because you could
it
have
turns
cut
into
it.
a
And
game. You
yeah,
know what I
uh
mean?
huh,
It
uh huh.
turns into a game of like how much is it going to do? Because I mean, at this point, it's like I haven't walked down this path in like 3 months. The season's almost over. Okay, let's just keep getting. I mean, I have them sitting in my living room still. I'm actually saving them to bait the deer in this year. I'm just going to feed them to the deer because it's crazy. Um,
They're like a butternut squash. They have a hard shell, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
They're
that's why
very
the storage is
delicious,
so
but I mean,
long. Yeah.
we ate 60 of them, 70. So it's like, man, I'm done. You know what I mean? And I was looking at what I planted and I can't remember. I really think I skipped planting them this year and I really hope I did. It's just, and I do that. I'll grow butternut squash one year and then the next year I'll grow Seminole pumpkins and then I'll swap back
Yeah.
and forth. But butternut squash does the same thing. It puts out those roots along the vine as well. So once
Mhm.
it goes up, so this year what I did is I grew it up 8 foot, up 8 feet, and then it's going to go down and then it's going to go out. So I have plenty of time to try and
Mhm.
minimize the amount. So if I had to, if you took out all the what I just said, it would be the number one producer per plant. I mean, winter squash, butternut squash,
Yeah.
Seminole pumpkins, all of those in general would be, you know.
Yeah, I think again, quick producers similar to cucumbers and the summer squash. So those, your yellow, green, like, the white scallop, they will put on and grow fast. Like if you have something that is flowering on Monday, you can have it for Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
If it doesn't produce faster than that in some cases. So I think that that definitely adds to, the volume that you're going to get off of a single plant, and that's the beauty in it. The irony, though, is that I have multiple squash plants planted now. But again, regular zucchini, um, a new variety of yellow squash. Which, if I have 4 yellow squash a season, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, like literally 4 squash, not 4 plants, but 4 squash. And then I have like a couple of the white scallop. It's so amazing that that little bitty seed can produce that much that quickly.
Yeah.
Unlike the time you have to spend caring for your peppers and your tomatoes, right? Like I direct sowed all of these we're talking about. But I have multiples only because I'm like hedging my bet against sickness. Like I don't need I quite honestly don't need all 3 varieties, but a part of having the garden, like that's the gift, being able to have that variety, being
Right.
able to have a different, because they all are going to taste different, a different tasting squash. So if we lumped squash just as a general category, yeah, it's a pretty high producer again, as long as the plant can stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to separate summer and winter squash, though. I
I
mean,
don't have to do anything.
they're two totally different plants. But
Uh,
I agree, they're both high producers, bottom
yeah.
line. You know what I was thinking about? I think is for summer, one of the worst as far as poundage goes will be corn. You get one ear of corn per stalk.
Yeah, that's and it. And you think about quite literally how much it weighs.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all.
Now,
My corn transplanted pretty well. We'll see.
what do you think about sweet potatoes? I know you don't really have a
So,
lot of luck with sweet potatoes.
well, I mean, I feel like I'm proud of the sweet potato harvest that I have for to be growing in the
Yeah.
north, and given the time that we have.